Chapter 877. Nataria's body stiffened instantly when Trump came forward and suddenly hugged her from the back. She had always been hoping from the depths of her heart throughout the past 20 over years for Trump to hug her tightly in his arms. After all, this was the only man that she had ever loved in her life. At this time, her first love from more than 20 years ago was hugging her tightly in his arms. As his hands were clasped tightly around her belly, Nataria felt as though she had already regained the feelings that she had from more than 20 years ago. Nataria's true feelings suddenly surged deep in her heart and she could not stop herself from placing her hand on his hand gently. However, as soon as she placed her hand on Trump's hand, she suddenly realized that it was really wrong for her to do this. She quickly broke away from Trump's embrace as she straightened out her hair in a panic. After that, she said unnaturally, "Trump, we shouldn't be doing this. You're still a married man after all. I can't let Elaine down like this." Trump was very anxious and he blurted out immediately, "She was the one who betrayed your trust and let you down in the first place. When we were both still together, Elaine knew that both of us had a very good relationship. She knew very well that I was your boyfriend, but she did not even think twice when she took advantage of me when I was drunk. If she had not been so shameless, both of us would still be together right now." Nataria sighed slightly before she said, "Although everything was indeed her fault in the past, I was the one who chose to let you go. Since I've already chosen to let go and give you to Elaine, then I shouldn't be betraying her like this. I shouldn't do anything to hurt her and let her down. This is a matter of principle. Otherwise, wouldn't I be the exact same kind of person that she was?" Trump said anxiously, "That woman ruined our relationship and she destroyed the happiness that we could both have shared. Do you really need to think about principles when it comes to someone as despicable as her?" Nataria replied seriously, "In fact, after the incident that happened back then, I knew very well and I understood that Elaine was the one who had been secretly planning for all of this to happen. I know that she's a villain, but I can't stoop down to her level and become a villain just because I was hurt by one in the past." After that, Nataria looked at Trump with a serious expression on her face before she said, "Trump, no matter what it is, you're still Elaine's husband after all. I can meet up with you and eat with you like ordinary friends and classmates do, but it isn't possible for us to start a relationship or anything of that sort." Tears started flowing down Trump's cheeks involuntarily. He looked at Nataria before he choked and said, "Does it mean that it is completely impossible for both of us to be together in this lifetime? We've finally met up with one another again after so many years. Don't you want to try to make up for the time that we have missed out on each other? Don't you have any regrets at all?" Nataria had a very pained expression on her face before she sighed and said, "Of course I want that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have decided to leave the United Kingdom and come back to Oris Hill instead. However, I feel that a gentleman should take the right approach when it comes to money and love. The two of us might have a chance to be together again after you and Elaine are divorced." Trump blurted out without any hesitation at all, "Then I will divorce her immediately." Nataria replied seriously, "Trump, please do not get me wrong. I'm not saying that we'd both necessarily end up together if you divorce Elaine." Trump asked nervously, "Nataria, what do you mean then? I don't understand what you're trying to say. Don't you want to be together with me?" Nataria replied sincerely, "Trump, we haven't seen each other for so many years. How can we decide to get back together so suddenly? This isn't a trivial matter." After that, Nataria continued speaking with a serious expression on her face, "We were still students who were still studying in school when we first fell in love. We studied and socialized with our classmates every day. We had never lived or spent time alone together. Now that we're older, falling in love is a completely different feeling. This is especially so at our age. We shouldn't only be considering our own feelings, but we should also be considering our children's feelings and what they would think of our relationship."